Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Sheffield United match reaction. I didn't do a match reaction to the Estoril game. One, because I don't know how you say Estoril. Uh, I had a guess. But mainly because we were rubbish against Estoril and there wasn't really anything to talk about. I went to Rotherham tonight. I've just got back and I feel like I should have spent the night with my son before he went to bed rather than watching that load of rubbish, to be honest. From the start, Illiman was probably the only player on the pitch that was going to do anything for us. And that became more evident as the game went on. Don't get me wrong, some players played well. A lot of players didn't, but it just didn't feel like we had anything to offer going forward, whether it was doing something special to create an opening, somebody to put the ball in the top corner from distance, somebody to take a couple of players on. Even Illiman was out of sorts tonight. He did a few nice things. He did a few things that could have got us a goal, but it just was not enough. But tonight worried me a little bit because I've never seen Illiman as down, dejected. He just looked like he didn't want to be there tonight. And I've never seen that from Illiman. He always digs in and does what he has to help his team. Now, it might be because it's pre-season. He don't want to get injured for the Premier League season. But a couple of times he bottled out of a couple of challenges and it would just, that's not what Illiman does usually. He missed a really, really good chance late on in the first half? No, sorry, in the second half. Probably in the middle of the second half on the volley. Had a couple of other shots that came to nothing. But throughout it was pretty anonymous. And that meant that the rest of the team kind of, I don't know whether Illiman just gives everybody a bit of a lift. When he's playing well, everybody else seems to rise to the occasion. But tonight, I don't know whether we just didn't have the players on the pitch to do the business. I like to see a few players because they were weird on Twitter that a lot of the players that we were expecting to see tonight weren't going to be there, and it was going to be all kids. And it wasn't. We did have some of the regulars like Jack Robinson played, George Baldock, Chris Basham, Illiman, Jebo, Ollie Norwood, those sorts of players. Wes in the goal. Wes played the full 90, to be honest, or 90 plus. So it's good to see those, but it was largely kids. It was. I thought Andre Brooks had a really, really good game. And do you know what? He could be that breakout star next season. I hope we don't send him out on loan because I think he could be a real asset for us. If we don't bring any really good attacking players, quick, skillful attacking players in, I think Andre Brooks could really be a jewel in the crown. But no, I enjoyed his performance tonight. Same with who else were they? I've forgotten his name already. Harrison Neal. I thought Harrison Neal had a really, really good game. I mentioned this on maybe Jimmy's channel that I always look out for the number 17 because number 17 was always my shirt number. And I really, really kind of always look out for the 17. It's been Jags previously. It's been David McGoldrick. We've had a lot of good 17s. Monty wore 17 at one point. So I always look out for 17. And my dad said it to me as we were sat in the stands. I wonder who's number 17 because there is a 17. My dad doesn't know many of the players or the younger players, should I say. And he's like, oh, I don't know who that is. And it was Harrison Neal. And I'm like, do you know what? I like Harrison Neal. I like him even more now. And throughout the game, I was like, oh, what a challenge, Harrison Neal. What a touch, Harrison Neal. But he did have a really, really good game, in all honesty. Really composed on the ball a lot of the times when the ball was being fizzed into him and a player's running at him, just kind of letting it roll past him and laying it off to George at the wing back. But the biggest problem with tonight was just the fact that it was lots of sideways and backwards passes. Not a lot in the final third. I think Rotherham did well to crowd Illiman out, crowd Jebo out. I thought Jebo did okay, but he didn't do enough for me tonight. I wrote a load of notes down to talk about this chance and that chance. And really for Jebo, he had two big chances, or three, should we say, because there was two big chances in one. The ball came over from, I think it was Andre Brooks. Put the ball into the box, a really, really good ball onto Jebo's head and shoulders above everybody else. Heads it kind of straight down the middle of the goal. Keeper's diving to one side, and he makes a good save. Victor Johansson, fantastic keeper, though. Still going to say it. Still always going to say it. And I did think that we should have gone in for Victor Johansson. But yeah, very, very good keeper. Makes a great save. And then with the follow-up, the goal's gaping. And he puts it over the bar. I think the defender got himself across and got a really, really good last ditch tackle in there that deflected it over, I think. Well, it was given as a corner anyway, so the referee thought the same. So that was Jebo's big chance early on. And then in the second half, Jebo went through, really, really good ball through from Andre Brooks again, outside of his left peg, just lovely little bend of ball behind the defender. Jebo went up against the defender, shoulder to shoulder, managed to get round him. I don't know whether it was his strength or speed or a combination of both, but he got round him. Johansson comes out and Jebo tries to kind of not flick the ball over him, but try and place the ball in a, like, higher up in the goal, and it hit the goalkeeper square in the face, and the ball went out for a corner. They were Jebo's big chances. Illiman got the ball down the wing and kind of jinked past a couple, put the ball across. And Charlie Staniland, who came on, who I thought had a really good game today, nearly got himself in there and on the score sheet, to be honest, but he just got the ball blocked. Illiman, there was another chance where he played a couple of 1-2s with Ben Osborne and then hit it with his left foot into the corner. I think the keeper just about got a hand to it, but I think it was going wide anyway. Really good save from the goalkeeper, if so. I thought Ben Osborne had a really, really good game tonight, and I've got to eat humble pie after the fans forum where I was giving him a bit of grief. I don't think Ben Osborne's a terrible player, but tonight he was by far one of the better players. It really was. Also, Ollie Norwood going off injured was not what we wanted to see, because Ollie Norwood may end up being one of those starting 11 when we play against Crystal Palace. So going off injured is never what you want to see from Ollie Norwood, especially the fact that he's a leader as well. He really is. I'm going to go through a few comments. Osborne and Jefferson not good enough, but to be fair, tonight I think those two were two of the better players. Illiman is leaving. Carlos is saying, I don't know, but he didn't. Don't think he come to clap the fans off at the end of the game. Maybe all this transfer speculation is affecting Illiman. Maybe so. Where were the two new boys and Berger? Do you know what, Blade Runner? I don't think that Benny Traore. I don't think all the T's have been crossed and I's have been dotted. I don't think that's it's sorted, but I don't think he can play it. I'm not too sure why. I'll have to do some digging into that to find that out, but I don't think he is available yet to play. I think Slimane, Sander Berger, John Egan, Enel, all those players will play tomorrow day against Girona at 1 p.m. I think it's behind closed doors. I've not seen the tickets on sale, but I've seen the fact that you can watch it on SU TV as well, but I'll be at work, unfortunately, so I won't be able to do a match reaction for that. I'll bring up johnegan.com's. LaRousse, Neil, and Brooks look good tonight. Egan probably missed the game for a medical at Stoke. Very good, very good. If anyone hasn't seen that, someone was reporting that Stoke were in for John Egan. Load of rubbish, obviously, but no, all a bit of fun. There's no way that we're giving away our captain to Stoke, but yeah, really silly. Yeah, LaRouche, whichever way you want to say it. I think he said LaRousse himself, so I'm going to go with LaRousse. So if anyone says LaRouche, that's the reason why I've gone LaRousse. Anyway, I thought the first half he was really poor. I'm sorry to say it. I thought he was really poor. He didn't do a lot right, especially in the first 10, 15 minutes. I was watching him a lot because obviously new player. You want to see new players playing. You don't know how they play. You want to see their strengths, their weaknesses, and he didn't do a lot right in the first sort of 10, 15 minutes. He came into the game a little bit more. He's very fast, which I like that a lot about him, obviously. Very, very fast player. But I felt like what I've heard is that he was a winger in his younger days. In his younger days, he's still young, but you know what I mean. When he was coming through the ranks, he was a winger, and he got made into a left back slash left wing back. So it made me think that he was going to get the ball and run with it and sort of try and take defenders on. But there was a lot of cutting back. There was a lot of sideways passes, backwards passes. So I would have liked to have seen him try and take a few players on. If he'd have lost the ball, I wouldn't have cared. Just wanted to see a little bit more from him going forward. But he did okay. He did fine. Um, I would have liked to have seen Slimani play. I've not seen him play yet. I really, really want to see him play. Also, obviously, Benny Traore is quite exciting as well from the highlights on YouTube, obviously. Yeah, it'd be nice to see Benny Traore because we certainly need a spark up front. When Ollie Mack's not playing with Illiman, because there was one point today where the ball got played into Illiman and he did his little step over and kind of ran on, waiting for the kind of through ball, and he stepped over it, and Jebo just was not on the same wavelength at all. And I think it just shows that Ollie Mack and Illiman have got that sort of connection, whereas Jebo's not played as many games with Illiman. And the thing is, Illiman's got like he's 3 steps ahead of everybody in his brain. So obviously, Ollie Mack has had to learn to play with Illiman because and kind of sort of guess what he's going to do. Yeah, Jebo did not have that in his locker tonight for me with Illiman. But the more he plays with him, the more he will understand him. But hopefully, the more he plays with him, because you never know. You never know. Fingers crossed he gets to play with him a little bit more. And I'd like to have seen Will Asula as well because I thought he was brilliant against Chesterfield. It is only Chesterfield, I know. But at the same time, it would have been nice to have seen Will Asula. I feel like Will Asula is above Jebo in the striking ranks, if you like. I'd like to see them both stay and not go out on loan, but we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Yeah, who else? Let me just quickly have a little look at my notes because I'm just trying to think who else had a good game. There's no one really. I said that Harrison Neal composed on the ball. Yeah, already mentioned that. Larouche, I've just done nothing right, which I'd mentioned already. And Illiman and Andre Brooks had bright games. That's all, really. That's all. I thought Cafu absolutely run the show for them in the midfield. I don't know why. I've never really known who Cafu is. I know he was at Forest. And I know obviously Rotherham have got him now. But I always just assumed he was a right back because his namesake, Cafu, one of the best right backs of all time, was a right back as well. So he just ran the midfield today, absolutely ran it. And looking at him, I'm thinking, I know that we should be striving for better than someone like Cafu. But the fact that he just ran their midfield and we could not get the ball off him, a couple of times he drew fouls from really, really good play, really good dribbling. One of his free kicks was absolutely unreal. One of them kind of Ronaldo free kicks where he just kind of hits it and it dips and it hit Wes's crossbar right in the far corner. Wes did not see that one coming. But there was that one. Obviously, the goal I'll quickly go through now. I don't really know what to say about it other than if he's meant it, it's a fantastic goal by Trialist. I don't think he's meant it. I think he's flicked it to try and flick it back into the box, and it's just landed in the back of the net into the corner. Fantastic goal. It just was, whether he meant it or not. But yeah, it was one of them where it was looping, it was looping, it was looping. I'm thinking, that doesn't look like it's going on the top of the goal. Where is this going? And it ended up going in the back of the net. It's just one of them things. But to be honest, I think they deserved it. They were by far the better team. We had a few good chances. But other than that, it was we weren't at the races. We just didn't have anyone that looked that exciting on the ball other than Andre Brooks and Illiman. Like I said, Ozzy had a good game, but we can't be relying on Ben Osborne because we are playing a championship team. Don't get me wrong. I think this should have been our starting 11 tonight. That we're looking for that we're looking to play first game of the season. Rotherham's always going to be a hard place to go because They are so regimented at the back, very good defensively, break up play really well, fantastic goalkeeper, and they can nick a goal and win the game, which they've done, which they did at Bramall Lane last season. We didn't score a goal against them last season. And the fact that we're thinking that we can just shove up Ben Osborne, Andre Brooks, Daniel Jebison on the pitch as our attacking threat and just expect that we're going to win, it's just farcical, to be honest. Now, I am getting more and more annoyed as I carry on talking, but this is just how I am. You know me by now that yes, it is only pre-season, but at the same time, I never want to see Sheffield United lose a game. Not to Rotherham, not to anyone. And when we're a league above them, we should be showing that we're a league above them, to be perfectly honest. So that's all I really want to talk about. The younger lads came on with 10 minutes to go. And you know what? At least they put a shift in. They really, really did put a shift in. I think it was Hackford up front. I've not looked at the team sheet, to be honest. I know my mate Sai Sachdev came on. Didn't have a lot to do, though, to be honest. It was a lot of kind of passing in the midfield. Charlie Stanyland had a good game, as I mentioned earlier on. I thought Frankie Maguire had a good game when he came on as well in his 10-15-minute stint that he had. Let me think, who else? To be honest, I thought Harrison Neal and Andre Brooks both looked the tiredest on the pitch, and they were the ones that stayed on. Everybody else came off. So, yeah, I found that a bit odd. I'd rather have left kind of, I don't know, Ben Osborne on in midfield and playing in Harrison Neal's role or on Andre Brooks's role because they looked shattered and they probably should have been brought off to save the legs because they put a really, really good shift in, especially Andre Brooks, which, like I said earlier, really, really excited for, really, really big future ahead of him. The last thing that I want to say is a little bit of a grumble, as they say on Radio Sheffield. The young lads obviously came over to clap the fans. And yeah, fair enough. I kind of waited a few minutes and then started walking down. It obviously takes a while to walk from your seats down to the concourse. And the only two senior players, shall we say, that came over were George Baldock and Wes Foderingham. And Wes was on the pitch already. Obviously, it's the other side of the pitch to the crowd. So he could have easily just walked off, and he didn't. He came over and clapped the fans. George Baldock came over, clapped the fans. The thing is, to me, it's always one of them where it's like, if the players have not put in a very good performance, should they come over and clap? Yes, they should. I know they should because we've gone to support them, whether we've driven 15 miles to Rotherham or 500 miles to wherever. The players still should clap the fans because they've paid money to go and see them play football, whether they've played well or not. And my dad did say, don't know what they're doing coming over here clapping. And I think that's what the players probably think as well. Like, we're embarrassed to go and clap the fans because we've not played well. But I think that, to be fair, George is always going to come over to the fans and clap them because George always puts 100% effort in every single time. And whether he makes a mistake or not, George will always come over and clap the fans because what we expect from the fans is, what we expect from the players is 100%. And that's us as Sheffield blokes, Yorkshire men and women. We expect 100%. That's it. And George Baldock always gives that. So there's not a problem with George coming over at all because he always does what we ask of him. But Illiman didn't come over. Jebo didn't come over. A lot of the players didn't come over that should have clapped the fans off. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Danny's letting me know that I am wrong. They all came and clapped the fans. George came, and a few minutes after they all did. Do you know what? I hope that they all came over because they wanted to come over, because it didn't look like anyone was coming over at first. I hope if that is the case, then they came over because they wanted to, not because they've been told to, because we've seen that a long time. We've seen that a lot in the past where players have come over because Chris Morgan's gone and said, get over there. Or Neil Warnock's gone, get over there. Or Chris Wilder or whoever. So, no, I'm glad that I'm wrong. I am. There was a delay, but they did. Yeah, we'll just say that they came over because they wanted to go and clap the fans. That's what we think. Anyway, so I think we're about done. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to watch the Girona game tomorrow because I am at work, which is unfortunate. Chad is going to be doing a watch along though, which is fantastic. And those that can watch it, the kids off school, the mums and dads that are watching the kids off school, you can all join the stream and hopefully see the Blades win a game of football, because the only game of football that the Blades have won in pre-season is against the National League side. So it would be nice to see Sander, Slimane all step up. Hopefully Benny Traore is available for this game. Not sure if they are, but let's see. Let's see. But yeah, I'm excited for the season still. It was a poor performance tonight, but hopefully, I think in the past we've seen us have terrible pre-seasons and gone on and get promoted and do well. But I've also seen us play really, really well in pre-season and done terribly in the season. So pre-season doesn't always mean a lot, but it's nice to see the boys score some goals and get some wins under the belt, which they haven't done too much of that in pre-season. Only 2 goals in 3 games, which is not great. And they both came again against the National League side. So fingers crossed. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully the Prince sees that we need to put his hand in his pocket and get some more players in, because it's not good enough, is it, really? And if we're just hanging our hat on Slimane, Sander, hopefully Illiman as our attacking threat going forward, as in like those that are going to link the play and get the ball into the box for Ollie Mack to score the goals, then hopefully they're going to do the business. But I'm a little bit worried, to be honest. But I'm worried and I'm not. Like, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me this evening. I'm sorry that I didn't manage to bring us a win back from the New York Stadium, but yeah, it's one of them things. Please like the video, whether you're watching it on Facebook, YouTube, or even Twitch. I'll appreciate it a hell of a lot if you like the video, and I will see you next time. Have a great evening.